is willing to push through. But the House of Representatives is looking at that, and they're saying, no, Mr. President, no, Harry Reid, that bill's not going to happen because it doesn't secure the border first.
Oh, now wait. Now everybody, all the people on the left, all those progressives are saying that bill, it puts all these conditions on there so that you can't, it secures the border.
And they'll have to go to the back of the line.
But see, in that law, there's all these exceptions unless the director of the Department of Homeland Security says, "Now we don't need to do that."
Right.
First. See, it puts the discretion back into the hands of the executive branch again.
Yep.
So
the Republicans aren't willing to pass that bill. Now, I have heard from a great many Republicans after this particular midterm that have said, Mr. President, if you will just wait until January, we would love to talk to you about immigration. We have a bill. Because that's another thing the left keeps saying. The progressives are screaming. There's been, the Republicans don't have a plan. The Republicans don't have a plan. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. It just starts with secure the border. See, that's where their plan starts.
And it also takes the discretion for enforcement away from the chief executive and says, no, you have to secure the border first, or the illegals don't get the good.
And, I noticed something else, something really tacky and childish on the part of this executive office.
What?
Because, this is a modern chief executive and really big in social media, right? Because they're all over Twitter, all over Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. The president is very happy that he has a qualified team to be on top of social media at all times. Well, if you go and you look at the White House's official Facebook page, not a Facebook page that just says White House on it, but the White House's official Facebook page. See, they went ahead and took to social media to announce this before they even came before the nation.
Right.
You would not believe all of the comments on there to the effect of, F-bomb you white people. Ha ha, white people. We won, you lost. And I got another clip from a Democrat, Luis Gutierrez, from Chicago, of all places, or from Illinois, however you want to put it. And he has a message for the Republicans that it makes it really clear how he feels about it. He was also on Univision last week, and when he was on Univision, he was more or less threatening his own version of Al Sharpton's actions if the president doesn't act this week with his executive authority. And here's what he has to say to the Republicans who would question it.
Roots in their communities. And the other thing is, look, they have to have American citizen children. This is about families. Don't you want millions of American citizen children to be raised by their parents who by all other standards are law-abiding and are ready to go through a background check? I want the billions of dollars that they're going to pay in taxes. And I want to say, look, Congress has to act. The Congress is the only one who can finish this job. This is a down payment. This is an installment. Congress has to act, and the president wants to work with that. And Andrea, you know better than most. I will sit down with my Republican colleagues and work with them. Mitch McConnell, they should stop whining and they should start legislating and start saying what they're going to do. They have an incredible victory in the Senate, an incredible new majority in the House of Representatives. Use it to do something constructive. Unfortunately, Republicans know that immigration doesn't necessarily unite their caucuses, but being against anything Obama's for does. Let's put the American people ahead of partisan politics and what's good for your party. Let's do what's good for America.
So it's good for America if we grant total amnesty to 5 million people who are in this country illegally. You know, he's talking about, he said, I want those billions of dollars in taxes. And he said, though, you know, they're otherwise law-abiding. Well, let's see, if they haven't been paying taxes, wouldn't that be another law that they've broken? Now, if you and I decide we're no longer going to pay any taxes, we go to prison for that, and there is no amnesty.
I mean, like Al Sharpton?
Well, unless we're Al Sharpton or Charlie Rangel.
Right.
There is no amnesty for Americans. He's saying, do what's good for America. Do what's good for Americans, for the American people. So it's good to just grant blanket amnesty and say, we forgive you for all of your crimes. Now, if you're already an American citizen and you've been charged with a crime, well, that's just tough. You know, you guys, you're on your own. There's no amnesty.
Pay your speeding tickets.
Mm-hmm. Pay your taxes. There's no amnesty for you. There's nothing in this for the Americans. Nothing. The only group of Americans that are going to benefit from this blanket amnesty is going to be the party that gives it to them.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true. There are people who are going to benefit from this blanket amnesty, and it's going to be all those people who are wanting to pay substandard wages.
Oh, well,
in order
yeah,
to have
there's
work
that.
done. So you're talking about agribusiness and basically anybody that hires unskilled labor, and they don't want to pay living wages, you know, so they want to hire these people who will be formerly illegals. You know?
Oh, well, yeah. Those people will benefit.
Yeah.
You're right there.
And some of those people vote Republican.
That's true.
Doesn't mean they're conservative. It just means that, well, them and Karl Rove are kind of tight.
Yeah.
Them and the establishment Republicans are
John Boehner.
yeah, you know, they're all
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, they're all tight with those folks. So, and they're in with the Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
So, you know, yeah, there are a few people that are not Democrats who are already counting their money.
See,
over this blanket amnesty.
At one point, our immigration system was set up to, you know, yes, it did allow in a certain amount of unskilled labor, but it was also designed so that the United States would be made up of the best and brightest that the world had to offer. And
People who believed in the American.
you're not actually turned on there.
People who believed in the American dream, I believe,
Right.
is the people you're talking about.
Right. That's no longer, you know, it's no longer part of the equation. Make no mistake, this immigration thing is set up to get more voters, and that's the bottom line. It's set up so that in some way or another, the Democrat base will be able to increase. Now, switching gears a little bit, you know, you've been chomping at the bit to talk about the Obamacare, because I say, you know, it just doesn't seem like it cannot be coincidence that we have the Ferguson verdict coming out, unilateral amnesty for about 5 million people here illegally, and all of a sudden these leaked audio video clips from one of the architects of the healthcare law start leaking out into the press. And it just cannot be coincidence that all of these squirrels are roaming around for us to pick and choose. You know, I'll give our president this. He knows how to act in the midst of chaos. You know, part of his election team, part of their mantra was never let a good crisis go to waste. And there are so many crises to choose from right now that this is the perfect time for him to act.
One would almost think that it was part of a plan.
It would, you know, like I said, I don't want to sound like one of those crazy, nutty conspiracy theorists, but it just seems too perfect, man.
But let's talk, you know, just in case people have crawled out from under a rock in order to listen to the show, we're talking about a fellow by the name of Jonathan Gruber.
Mm-hmm. I got about a 2-minute clip that I snaked from the Chicks on the Right website, and it's got a few sound bites from Gruber. He's the guy that you've been hearing about on the news that says that Obamacare getting through like it did was basically due to the stupidity of the American voter. Now, however, I don't remember the American voter getting to have a say-so in this.
No.
It was more along it would have been more linguistically correct to have said the stupidity of the American congressman and senator,
yes,
or the American politician.
Well, actually, you just could have said the stupidity of the Democrat.
Well, that's true, because it didn't get not one single Republican vote.
Exactly. So, you know, we're talking about the stupidity of Democrats, but let's just take it away there.
All right, here we go.
Who exactly is Gruber? What was his role in crafting Obamacare?
I don't know who he is. He didn't help write our bill.
Most people think that he's one of the best outside experts, Mr. Gruber of MIT.
I don't know if you have seen Jonathan Gruber of MIT's analysis. And so
Jonathan Gruber is one of the most respected economists in the world.
He attended 5 of the 12 meetings at the Obama White House in 2009, including the meeting with the president.
I was a paid consultant to the Obama administration to help develop the technical details of the bill.
$6 million in consulting fees on Obamacare. Who knew you could make so much money working for the government, huh?
And so
the fact that some advisor,
an advisor
who never worked on our staff.
I've stolen ideas from liberally John Gruber.
Obama's a little more relaxed. I think he took a cigarette break halfway through.
Expressed an opinion that I completely disagree with in terms of the voters.
That passed. The American voter is too stupid to understand it. You know, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. It's a very clever, you know, basic exploitation of the lack of economic understanding of the American voter.
There's no reflection on the actual process that was run.
And the only way we could take it on was first by mislabeling it. And John Kerry said, no, we're going to tax your health insurance. We're going to tax those evil insurance companies.
Gruber, who has been our guide on a lot of this.
But we all know it's really a tax on people who hold those insurance plans.
I think it's fair to say that there was not a provision in the healthcare law that was not extensively debated.
This bill was written in a tortured way to make sure CBO did not score the mandate as taxes. If CBO scored the mandate as taxes, the bill dies.
Mr. Gruber of MIT, he's got big computer models, he takes the CBO data, and frankly, in some respect, he's helped CBO by giving some information to CBO that otherwise does not have.
You had a law which said healthy people are going to pay in. It made explicit that healthy people pay, that sick people get money. It would not have passed.
And was fully transparent.
Lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And over time, it's going to apply to more and more health insurance plans.
And so
how can that make sense?
I love the little bits there with Nancy Pelosi going, So, at first, you know, I don't even know who this Jonathan Gruber guy is. And there's multiple video clips where she's singing his praises. All of these people, all of the people who basically forced that health care bill down our throats were at one time singing this guy's praises because, hey, this is an economist from MIT, for Pete's sake. And now we have his